Welcome. This is the Late Late Show with BT, where views with security and the law are being provided to you, the public. So it's been a while since the last show, and um, I mentioned that we were licensed in New York. Now we're going to not be licensed in New York anymore and licensed in the state that we broadcast from, and that's going to be Virginia. And due to a busy schedule and other situations, we're going to broadcast once a month. So this is the Will Serve for January show. So since the last show, and I mentioned that we had gotten feedback that the show wasn't quite clear, that we're going to start instead of um, I'm going to go source by source. So today we're going to go, our sources are going to be UN DESA, Cosmopolitan, January 2019, Out, February 2019. And we also have Out, October 2018, and a couple of times. So we're just going to take it about with each source. So first, UN DESA, and this is where we discuss UN news. So World Data Forum wraps up with a declaration to boost financing for data and statistics. But we urgently need to bridge important gaps, she added. The UN World Data Forum is the best place to launch a declaration on financing for data and statistics, said UN Undersecretary General for Economic and Social Affairs and head of UN DESA. Important discussions on building trust in data and statistics show that 70% of the expert audience presented in Dubai believe that there is a trust deficiency crisis in data. These sessions highlighted an important area of work for the data community moving forward, particularly as it relates to data literacy for both the public at large and policymakers, and the need to ensure data relevance, openness, and quality. I can get that. The UAE has set a high standard of support, and the energy and engagement behind the forum continues to build, as evidenced by growing attendance. So I definitely get that because some people are like, what is the data is based on? How you know that the information that you receive comes from valid sources? How do you know people are telling the truth? So there's a lot of questions when it comes to data being accurate. Um, and if it's not accurate, well, then how useful is it? So I definitely understand how that community, the data community, has its challenges. But data can be useful, especially when you go on with majority and you have to gather some kind of way from people their opinions. So you have to, just ask that they be honest and ask that the people that you receive the data from have integrity. As we usher in the new year, on the surface, global macroeconomic indicators remain favorable, but they mask underlying risks and imbalances. Diving into the blue economy. The first ever Sustainable Blue Economy Conference held in Kenya in November 2018 brought together thousands of ocean experts and activists to discuss how to sustainably use our ocean. The blue economy comprises a range of economic sectors and related policies that together determine whether the use of ocean resources is sustainable. Secondly, the blue economy challenges us to realize that the sustainable management of ocean resources will require collaboration across borders and sectors through a variety of partnerships and on a scale that has not been previously achieved. The blue economy concept seeks to promote economic growth, social inclusion, and conservation or improvement of livelihoods, while at the same time ensure environmental sustainability, all issues integral to the 2030 Agenda. So, to build a blue economy, we will need to put sustainability at its center. We will need to ensure that policies do not undermine each other and that interlinkages are leveraged for the benefit of people, planet, and prosperity. Our rainwater, drinking water, weather, climate, coastlines, much of our food, medicines, and even the oxygen in the air we breathe are all provided and regulated by the sea. I'm going to repeat that. Our rainwater, drinking water, weather, climate, coastlines, much of our food, medicines, and even the oxygen in the air we breathe are all provided and regulated by the sea. As Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta said in his remarks at the conference, it provided an international forum for advancing global conversation on the two important pillars of the blue economy. On one hand, sustainability, climate change, and controlling pollution. On the other, production, accelerated economic growth, jobs, and poverty alleviation. With about 18,000 participants, 184 countries, and more than 300 events and 200 speakers, the conference proved to be an important stepping stone towards the next anticipated UN Ocean Conference in 2020. So there's a blue economy. There is, and the environmental film festival is starting and will be February 2019 at different places throughout Richmond, such as the Bird Theater, Community Idea Station, the library, um, the Institute for Contemporary Art, and there are um, a lot of different types of issues that they're addressing. I wasn't able to go to. I'm not going to be able to go to all of them, but I'm going to, try to go to at least three. And that's in February. So I signed up to go to three. Let me pull it up and see if I can get some more information. It is RBA Environmental Film Festival. So it raised awareness of environmental issues, relevant to not only the Richmond region, but the nation and the planet. It was founded in 2008. And some of the films you need tickets to go see, but it is completely free. Some of the issues that they're addressing is the swamp, oceans, our blue planet. So they're going to talk about, um, and I might add that to my list, our blue planet on the 5th of February. Oh, that's a Tuesday, so I can't remember. Unfortunately, I can't go to that one. And then they have Hometown Habitat. They're doing a lot of small miniature movies at the Bird Theater in Richmond. They're discussing straws, reefs that are at risk, food waste. So they're going to touch on a lot of different topics. And it starts February the 4th and it goes through February the 13th. So if you are near or in the Richmond area, you might want to just check out the Environmental Film Festival. Now for Cosmopolitan, January 2019. The breakdown. So the second the clock strikes midnight on NYE, you'll be A, just getting started. He's ready for the most epic 2 a.m. bar crawl. B, air kissing your BFFs before they real kiss their BFs. Or C, cracking open your new 2019 journal with the featuring female pen in hand. So our answer is air kissing your BFFs before they real kiss their BFs. And most Monday mornings you wake up A, hoping it's cold enough to wear tights because you're way too beat to shave. B, from yet another dream starring you're hotter than you remember X. Or C, in a cold sweat, convince you slept through your alarm and will get fired. So most Monday mornings you wake up A, hoping it's cold enough to wear tights because you're way too beat to shave. So if you have mostly A's, which was an A and a B, so mostly A's, practice self-care. And mostly B's, we have your love life. Some therapists say a marriage that's purely transactional is not likely to be emotionally sustaining. So a little horoscopes. Things may get a little rocky overall on the 13th. But by the time Virgo Mercury moves into Visionary Aquarius on the 24th, you'll be feeling clear headed and confident. You'll know if the bond is meant to last once the sun moves into Visionary Aquarius on the 20th. If you play by the rules and avoid an awkward power struggle near the 21st, you'll stay golden. But think before you leap when the full moon lunar eclipse on the 21st brings a big deal decision. Making friends is even better together. Beauty bonus. So if the model has short hair, I don't think I'm gonna cut my hair anytime soon. Just gonna let it grow. I started my locks back and she twisted it. I let someone else do it versus doing it on my own. So I got it twisted. I'm still getting adjusted to it. I prefer the way my locks look when I did it on my own. So I'm still adjusting to it. So Jessica Goodman, loyal Insta followers are the best. That's not to say digital friendships can't morph into the real thing, but you might never get there till you spend actual one-on-one time together in person. No need to block. That's a little drastic. When they direct message you a few times, you keep up a like them. The Bandit Squat. Want to get that butt in 2019? The booty burn level. If you live to Belfry, get into the starting position, but place the resistance band around your shins. So it's always some new, when burpees came out, I didn't know what a burpee was. Like, what is a burpee? I don't like doing a lot of things where I have to jump on I put the weight on my ankles. Like, well, when I lose the weight, then I can do things like that. So, giving myself the entire 2019 to lose weight. If come 2020 I haven't lost any weight, then there's a problem. Joey Manning. You probably think your drinking is pretty moderate-ish. A glass or two of red after a long day, a few cocktails to pregame a first date, a series of tequila shots after an awkward Tinder meetup leaves you begging the bartender for some liquid aid. Meanwhile, the number of 25 to 34-year-olds dying from alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver jumped an average of 10.5% annually between 2009 and 2016, the most of any age group, according to the Scientific Medical Journal, BMJ. The term was coined by Ruby Warrington, author of a new book by the same name. At first, being the only sober one made her feel self-conscious, but she also felt amazing physically. If anyone questions you, tell them I'm taking a break tonight. Or TBH, mind your business. To blend in better with the crowd, just don't be tough on yourself if you do decide to have a sip, or two, or three. The goal isn't to be a stickler, it's to be in control of your drinking and how it makes you feel. So I'm in recovery. And part of being in recovery, you have other people that you're in recovery with. And some people that are in recovery are also in recovery from narcotics. Some people are in recovery from alcohol. But I'm in recovery with my mental health. I may have disclosed this, but around 2005, I had a mental breakdown. And so I've been in recovery since then. And I'm working towards a certification with the state of Virginia that allows you to help other people who may be going through some of the similar things that I've gone through so that they can be in recovery and in a position where they can communicate that it was their past and not their present, and then it doesn't have to be their future. How to be that hot and heavy couple. The problem with being too close. And what's the best sex position for me? So, if you don't already know, I'm celibate. And I have been this going since 1999. So, 2000, no relationship. 2005, no relationship. 2015, no relationship. So, almost 20 years not being in a relationship, waiting for the one. Um, One comment that I just previously read about it's better making friends together. I decided to be proactive and trying to find someone and not being closed minded, actually showing an interest if there's interest in if I think if I'm attracted to someone or someone seems interesting, to not be shy about that interest. I was proactive. New Year's Eve, the church had a single celebration, and so I participated with that. So, um, kind of participate in groups that are specifically for single. I tried a Christian dating site, but that didn't work out. Like that's not working out because nobody that I'm interested in messages me back. There's always someone that I'm just not interested in. And I've made it clear that I'm looking for a life partner versus just a friend. Lauren Basano. Yes, there is foundation for your body. Back, knee, and veins. And no, it won't budge. The spray nozzle of Al Even London's Color Shield is made to target large areas like your legs and back. So they have, at the beginning, they have foundation that is more than just for your face. They have it where it can um, fit your entire body. Lauren Basamo. There is likely a difference between the number you celebrate on your birthday this year and the one your complexion actually reflects, thanks to the 7 aging factors at right. And of them, pores. When they become enlarged due to age, genetics, UV exposure, or picking, they make your skin appear uneven. And UV spots. This year, however, reveals what's lurking beneath the surface, which if left untreated will rise to the top eventually. I've never, like, I got a comment where they looked at my driver's license today and was like, "What? You were born in this year? Like, whatever you're doing, continue doing it." I've never done anything other than just watched my worrying and use water on my face. Beauty. They're so convenient. You can get glowing in the back of an Uber. The bright side. So I had an interview today, and I just knew I was going to get the job. Um, this lady, his daughter worked there, and she has a felony, and I don't even have a felony. And I'm like, how does she has this job? And I just knew I was going to get hired, on the spot. But she was like, she doesn't have anything available for the time that, because I'm looking for overnight. She didn't have anything overnight except this one location, and nothing is open now, but something could be opening up. And so she said that she will call me. But that was it. I didn't get the job. But the bright side is I have another interview tomorrow. There's no guarantee I'm going to get that one either, but it is a possibility. April Branson of Sharp Objects. My hands didn't reach out to break my fall. They were clutching my big skirt the whole way down. Total Boss met Total Boss at her special event last fall. So it's a picture of Oprah Winfrey and Michelle Obama and Michelle Obama is talking to Oprah to her in front of a crowd about her book Becoming. I'm not a fan. I'm sure it's probably a good book, but I'm not a fan of the cover. I think that she looks too made up and reminds me of what Whitney Houston was starting to look like right before she died. The makeup just, was starting to make her look like it wasn't her. So I like when makeup can have that ability to make you look different. But I think sometimes it's a good different and sometimes it's a bad different. So I just think that her cover is not a good different for me. So question, what's the hot beauty trend you're seeing right now? I've been seeing a lot of green hair, different color hair. I've been seeing the green, I've been seeing the two-tone, the blue hair. Um, so that's something that I've been seeing. So I started going to my support group in October, and in January is when I started doing class to be certified. Um, I'm still working on going back to school. Um, we're still just thinking if that is going to be the right thing for me, but I'm taking everything one step at a time, and I feel like I'm in a storm. And when there's a storm, what are you supposed to do when there's a storm? Be still. So I'm being still. I decided to do a show a month just so I can stay connected to this desire of having a show. Um, and I got to see a rerun of the Late Late Show with James Corden. It was his, I think, December 20th show. He had Will Ferrell on there. And um, RuPaul. And I don't remember ever watching the show. I hadn't even noticed that he interviews his guests all at the same time. But sometimes they have their one-on-one time, and they have the carpool karaoke that he does. So now we're gonna go into October 20th. Michael Martin. The vibe is more of a boozy summer Sunday afternoon than a sleepless middle of the night, and the ambient driving melodies are immediately ingratiating. On the Loping Woman, Marshall sings ironically to the angel of death before summoning Lana Del Rey to back her up. So there's a rumor that Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt were getting back together. And as you know, we love Brad Pitt, him and Sean Combs. But the idea of Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston getting back together does not agree with us. So it's not for him going with Angelina Jolie. It's definitely not with him with there hasn't been anyone that's been presented to be a good fit for him that we would be like, yeah, we can see that. You know, no, we would know to Kate Hudson, would know to Angelina Jolie, would know to Jennifer Aniston, and even um, the other lady would know to her too from The Shack and Hidden Figures. I can't think of her name. Octavia Spencer. So Anthony Romero, undaunted by his admission that the Supreme Court failed the American public by allowing the president's travel ban to be ratified, Romero keeps fighting for immigrant rights and protecting hard-won battles like the ruling that earned us marriage equality. Tim Cook, and he hasn't lost his soul to big business. In 2018, he raised $5 million in Apple shares to charity. Michael Barbaro, the longtime host of the New York Times News podcast The Radio Show The Daily, Michael Barbaro has been referred to by Vanity Fair as the Hourglass of the Times, and he continues to be a vocal soldier when it comes to bringing a cornerstone of print media into the digital age. I never heard of Michael Barbaro. Michael Kors. Now, I've heard of Michael Kors. While the Michael Kors brand has surely felt the recent effects of the dwindling retail world, the purchase of Jimmy Choo in 2017 could give the style titan just the boost he needs. Don Lemon. Don Lemon has been one of the brashest recipients against Donald Trump. The venerated journalist respected when the current administration is especially discerning in our fraught age of identity politics, as he brings an experience and insight to the table and to America's living rooms as an LGBTQ person and a person of color. Lemon is a rarity and an asset in yet another white-dominated field. In addition to being one more news person labeled dumb by the commander-in-chief, he has been also been subject to racist attacks. Patrick Fowler. allowing her, a black transgender woman who was incarcerated for a decade, to tell her story through Billboard is one of my proudest moments. David Cicilline. According, um, I never heard of David Cicilline. Sorry, David. Tim Gill. In addition to being thoroughly profiled by Rolling Stone last year in an article dubbed The Quiet Crusader, how Tim Gill turned a $500 million fortune into the nation's most powerful force for LGBTQ rights, Gill is developing a voice-controlled home automation system called Josh.A. with Michael Martin. And in the intervening years, she became one of the most sought-after fugitives from the beat. There was serious thematic alchemy there, a wit, edge, and emotional intelligence that brought Robin closer to the 1985 Smiths than 2008 Kylie, but over a grid of sugary beats. 8 years later, determined to be more Swiss beats than Britney, Robin extricated herself from both producer and label, founded her own imprint, Konichiwa Records. That setup enabled her masterpiece Body Talk, compiled from 3 EPs, to ignite the world in 2010, the year Robin packed up her 3A's 4 first with dance chart hits, Pitchfork raves, and Saturday Night Live performances. Unfortunately, the years around Body Talk's release were tough ones for the commercial dance diva, a period that saw not one but 3 great blonde hopes of dance run around for reasons beyond their exceptional worth. The tracks that a reporter has been allowed to preview are roundly excellent. Euphoric stompers and satin mid-tempo chill-outs, each one pure cookie satisfaction from the first chorus, thoroughly believing a production period of internal drama. I wanted it to be unfiltered. They become even more clear. From that moment, Robin's music became the soundtrack of my life because it's so real and relatable. For her part, Robin believed that she could ultimately write herself out of her existential funk. But first, she had to be sure she had something to say to the people who have come to hang on her every word. I knew what kind of album I wanted to make, but I didn't know how to be good, she said with a laugh. All recording artists might do well to be wary of wasting their followers' time. But the resulting tracks are no academic exercise. Robin calls the album sensual, although she refers less to carnality than being fully present in the moment, helpful when creating a product meant to be consumed on the dance floor. Honey is slated for release before the end of the year, and Robin is planning to support it with a big international tour in 2019. But for her, the project has been simultaneously smaller and more epic. That was the big new perspective for me, and that's just the way it was. That's just the way it is to be a human being. So now we're going to out February 2019 versus me and Leo yakety yacked about writer's block and the starchy long stroke of quote unquote God on the metal walk. And he didn't know I was fully head over banana peels. I mean, and keels. I mean, a straight up crappy love with him yet. And maybe I didn't either. Hindsight is good and plenty. I mean, 2020. Clearly the worst American candy. And what is candy but a crush? Leo said it's tangled up in waves and dreams and therapy. That's writer's block. Or is it God? Comes from being blocked up in other parts of our lives. This is a polysaccharide effective deflection, rejection heavy, that he forgot what the feeling of a good idea is. But I'm standing right in front of you. I thought bubbled but never troubled the air with my utterance. Instead, I said, this is the part where you asked me for my number, because I was committed to being my own damn romantic comedy that week. So I mentioned that I'm waiting to get married and I know I'm doing out. And I've opened myself up to, and I think I mentioned this before, to who God has in store for me. And, but it has to be one or the other, not a hermaphrodite, you know. Um, you know, um, so I opened myself up to male, female, guy, girl, he, she, have a lot of time. Well, we have about 30 more minutes, but I have a lot of time that was sent to me that we'll probably get to in February, maybe. But now we're going to go through cosmopolitan. Well, let's do a time. December 24th, December 31st, 2018, time double issue. Behind the scenes. Christine Blasey Ford, in her testimony during confirmation hearings for Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, whom she accused of sexual assault. I am here today not because I want to be. Melissa Chan. She changed the course of our lives forever. Who sat 2 rows behind the shattered window? Heroism is in the small things, she said, not just in the big ones. John McCain, 1936 to 2018. Only truth and transparency can guarantee freedom. Robert Mueller by Brian Bennett. Not because they portray a perfect person, but because they describe a complicated one, relentless but circumspect, impatient but thorough, difficult but respected. These qualities manifest in Mueller's work this year are why many believe he was ideally suited to oversee the biggest test to the American system of justice since Watergate. The justice system, all the way down to its foundational document, does not provide for a president to be prosecuted by the law enforcement system he leads. It is a constitutional gray zone. Within weeks of the February indictment, Trump's 2016 deputy campaign chairman, Rick Gates, pleaded guilty to tax and bank fraud charges, agreeing to testify against his former boss, Trump's one-time campaign chairman, Paul Manafort. It was a blow to Trump in 1 month. Mueller had laid out in damning detail how a foreign power had worked to help put him in the Oval Office and brought a key campaign operative into the web of the investigation. Dowd struck a cooperative tone with Mueller's team, turning over thousands of pages of documents and clearing the way for hours of testimony by close Trump aides, including White House counsel Don McGahn. Trump began hammering Mueller by name, while Giuliani went on a media blitz through the summer. The attacks played to conservatives' perceptions of an out-of-control deep state and pointed to findings by the department's inspector general that investigators and top officials of the FBI and Justice had behaved improperly. Mueller's approval rating by now, he was being tracked by news organizations as if he were a candidate for office, dropped below 50% in June. Giuliani admitted his goal was to discredit the special counsel's work before the public, regardless of legal merits. This case is not going to be tried before a jury, Giuliani told Time in June. And Mueller may have only begun to lay out what he knows. For each morning, Mueller leaves his home in a leafy neighborhood in northwest Washington and rides through the still, quiet streets of the capital, arriving at his desk before much of the city has rolled out of bed. Like many ad hoc operations in Washington, the office interior is described by those who have seen it as Spartan. The battle for test came quickly. He joined the Boston law firm of Hill and Bravo in 1988 but learned he hated billing hours and chasing clients. In 1989, he went to work at the Justice Department, becoming head of its criminal division under Attorney General William Barr, who looked set to become his boss again soon, after being nominated for the same role on December 7th by Trump. In his perch atop DOJ's criminal division, Mueller oversaw the investigations of Panamanian dictator Manuel Noriega, the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland, and the prosecution of the mob boss John Gotti. Even many supporters found him to be a remote leader. There was a sense that he was a bit callous, says a former high-ranking FBI official who worked closely with Mueller, and that he was so driven by the mission that he forgot about the people. The seriousness was even reflected in his wardrobe. Mueller preferred to wear white shirts to work, an old FBI tradition dating back to the Hoover era. That night, I did learn the importance of listening to those around me, truly listening before making judgment, before taking action, to continue. As special counsel, Mueller was charged in 2017 with uncovering any links and or coordination between the Russian government and individuals associated with the campaign of President Donald Trump as part of the investigation of the Russian government's efforts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election. The big question now is whether Mueller will find evidence that the president colluded with a foreign power to get elected or obstructed the investigation. For a man devoted to protocol and committed to a black and white view of the world, such a moment will be the ultimate test of character. Moon J.L. by Charlie Campbell. By May 27, the Singapore summer was back on, and with it, Moon's bold plans to mend divisions between the nation he governs and the one year his parents fled during the 1950-53 Korean War. In that time, the two Koreas have come to bear little resemblance. A veteran negotiator, he broke with the last summer between the leaders of North and South in 2007 when he was chief of staff to then South Korean President Moo-Yoon. Mo Moo-Yoon. First economic cooperation, then economic integration, and finally for reunification, he told Time. Matter of fact, on the campaign trail in April 2017, but it was war that seemed more likely after Moon entered South Korea's presidential Blue House. Others cited unprecedented UN sanctions driven, in part, by the Trump administration. Moon's big opportunity came at the beginning of 2018. Tangerines were given to North Korea to be distributed among divided families. Prized matsutake mushrooms were sent the other way. But sports diplomacy paid real dividends, prompting a series of meetings between North and South that led to a historic summit on April 27, where Kim became the first North Korean leader to step across the borderline and visit the South. There, Kim reportedly told Moon, if we engage with the Americans more frequently and build trust with them, why should we have nuclear weapons and suffer from it? Asked whether he would truly engage in denuclearization talks, Kim put his integrity on the line, saying, do you think I'm the kind of person to break my word? He had already begun to play to he had already begun the process of getting into Trump's good graces in November 2017 when the new president addressed the South Korean parliament. But the South Korean leader's associates say his diplomatic style is heartfelt. If the mercurial president reacted badly, then any hope of a diplomatic breakthrough would vanish. Moon saw it as vital to deliver the message understood in hope of breaking the escalation cycle. There's every reason to be wary. Moon JN has broken through some paradigms and brought the free use further than anyone thought possible. But the hardest tests lie ahead. Jennifer Egan. Online, lies and truth. Jennifer Egan. This has been a boon for professional liars who take advantage of the fact that two-thirds of Americans get their news from social media and use these platforms to market falsehoods. As money-making ventures, paranoid fantasies make excellent clickbait as vehicles of personal fame, or for foreign powers like China and Russia as a way to spread propaganda in hopes of influencing voters and thereby our elections. This is a basic tool of the autocracy admirers, like Viktor Orban, who recently won re-election in Hungary by claiming the country, whose population has among the lowest proportions of foreign-born or immigrant workers in Europe, is being invaded by migrants. Beneath the false bottom of fraudulent news is the danger of tyranny. We need writers for that, and we need them badly. Literature is an antidote to the blunt distortions, good versus evil, us versus them, that are so easily exploited by those who will manipulate us. Jennifer. And we might have time for Council Files in February 2019. Question: what's your morning beauty routine? I brush my teeth, I wash my face, and sometimes I put oil in my hair. Behind the set scenes. So Valentine's Day is coming up next month, and I don't have a honey. Michelle T. I went to the bathroom and was looking under the sink for some toilet paper when I found a picture of him and his wife on their wedding day. So I'm not interested in anyone who has kids because I don't want to be a step parent. Just because of the trauma that I've experienced as, with step parenting. So I don't want to put children in a position where they have to, choose someone to be with their parents, mother and father, so we're supposed to honor them together. But I know that it doesn't apply all the time. Like for instance with Angelina Jolie and the Jolie Pitts, because he was married before and she got involved with him. So she didn't respect the marriage, so it doesn't apply. So ideally, we want honor that mother, honor that father to apply as a couple versus individually. Lawn Balsamo, a combo of gentle exfoliating peel pads, a brightening serum, and daily SPF is the best way to score an even tone in a minimum of 4 weeks, says the doctor. The big perks of having a real crush. Bringing your phone into the bathroom. So I really don't do that, but I found a couple of times that I've done that, and like you have to do that, but for the most part, I do not bring my phone into the bathroom. This buzzkill brought to you by E. coli. February might be the thirstiest month of the year, but all those thongs you've been wearing are actually, hate to say it, counterproductive to your sex goals. Jennifer Gerson. Because they don't offer a full range of medical services or even birth control, they're not real clinics, and they may prevent a woman from getting the care she actually wants or needs. Some CPCs have been accused of lying about how far along women's pregnancies are to get them to delay their decision until an abortion becomes harder and more expensive to obtain. Last year at the University of Georgia, Pregnancy Center offered to cater tailgates for the big Auburn football game. But that's not stopping young activists from trying. As more women take the pills at home, they'll be able to avoid the restrictions placed on abortion by some states, like requiring that women view an ultrasound. But these claims are based on faulty and misleading information. These units allow them to better target college students and low-income women. The vehicles concern her because more than one of my patients in the past month has been told by a CPC that she would die from an abortion, she says. But they're the same people, just with better branding. Total body burn level. So when I was in college, I was sexually active. And by the grace of God, I didn't, I didn't have any children out of wedlock. I didn't have any baby daddies that, didn't care for the child. I didn't have to be confronted with that. Take your bloody from basic to bonkers. But the real hero here is a good grilled cheese. I don't miss grilled cheeses, but I do miss peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Jessica Goodman, nab this throw blanket with a foot pocket for extra snuggies. Know what your side table is missing? Lisa Butterworth on Gina Rodriguez. With a casual look and warm energy match this workaholic's ambition. This equality to reproductive rights. If abortion is illegal, ejaculation should be too. So whether she wants to freeze her eggs, she doesn't. In fact, Jenna can trace her ambition back to when she set a goal for herself at 14 to star on a TV show. She orders a mimosa as she recounts what it was like back then. She was in Chicago, one of three first-generation daughters born to a Puerto Rican parents. While filming the fifth and final season of Jane, Gina's beloved rescue puppy Casper started walking funny as he rushed to the vet. As a successful woman, it's so hard because of our culture norms that, like, the man has to be the breadwinner and the man has to be the more powerful one. I don't see anything wrong with a man being the breadwinner. Maybe because I'm looking for jobs and haven't found any. I said this to Joe the other day, and he was like, "That sounds terrible." There was this moment of, "Oh, I'm going to be with you forever." And it said, "You are the best daddy to our fur babies." Lawn Balsamo. First, pick a hydrated base. There are three choices: lotion, gel, or jelly, and one of the five active concentrates, basically a serum. Then pop off the top of the base, inject the serum capsule, seal it shut, and apply both one pump. Harry Ward. Back in the day, it was done with classic texts like works of Homer and Virgil, and even the Bible. Whichever words pop out at you first are believed to reveal an answer. To begin, concentrate on a question or a problem you may have. School employment. Mhm. So back to horoscopes. Slow and steady wins when it comes to swiping right this month. Be just a bit cautious to avoid getting burned. That said, when Venus, the planet of love, moves into your friend zone on the third, a similar flirtation may come to a boil. With three planets in your zone of intimacy, you may also become totally smitten. Capricorn dies, showering with X's and O's, and you'll be spoiled right back, especially between the sheets. As you can tell, I'm not a big person on horoscopes. I believe there's something with the stars, and I believe in universal order. I do, and I believe that I'm guided by something with the stars that connects everyone to everyone, even the Brad Pitts, the Sean Combs, the Beyonces, the Alicia Keys. Um, I believe that. Um, I don't believe it's like that for everybody, but when it comes to stars and celebrities, I do believe in that type of kinship. Um, but we did the horoscopes. I said that because I did the horoscopes for January 2019, February 2019 of the both cosmopolitans. So I'm gonna keep you updated, even though we're doing them one show a month. Because it seems like everyone wanted to. I lost all. I had three computers and I lost all three of them. One got stolen, one broke, and well, two broke, and one got stolen. So now I have to use public computers that are provided, and I have to travel to get to a location that offers a public computer that can be used. So that's how we are, right now. Um, so come next show, I should have more information about getting a master's or not, considering federal employment. So seeing how that goes. Um, so we're working. Everything's gonna work out. And last but not least, our out of network spotlight. New tattoo studio, World Pomade, precisely sculpted brows, up to 24 hours, waterproof matte formula in 8 shades. New Made for All by Color Sensational. Sensational on every one. Satisfaction guaranteed. One shade, testing on 50 diverse skin tones. Our Outer Network Spotlight, Maybelline, New York. So, so I just been praying that I remain still in the midst of the storm. I'm just going to use this time to reflect. I have about 3 minutes, and I can just talk and vibe with you all and just be real about everything that's going on. I've been going to support groups like 3 times a week. I'm leading two support groups for the month of February. One that's exploring volunteerism and one that give us a break. Um, we can just play some games. So I'm doing that, which will also help me get my hours for um, my peer recovery certification. I was put in this program that would alleviate a lot of stress, but they said that I can try again, I could apply again once I finish with school. So, trying the school thing, and I put myself out of the program so that I can try it. But I just been contemplating the school thing because I already have a degree, and I didn't know what I was getting into when I went into it. I didn't know how you're supposed to plan for a degree, and I'm finding that there's not much difference. Like I'm concerned that, um, I'm not working in the degree right now that is helping me. I just want a degree, and I don't see there's a lot of difference in how things were when I got my first degree. I'm just hoping, like, there's just a lot of hope that it's going to help me with my employment. It's going to make things better, you know. Um, so, um, I'll keep you updated on the employment, on the school, on the training. I also am getting involved with K Love and their ministry. I'm getting involved with Destination and their classes and their ministry. And St. Paul's is also doing classes as well. So I'm looking for any opportunity to improve myself. I'm also looking to Debtors Anonymous because that may help as well. So I hope all is well with you in love and in peace and serenity. This has been the Late Late Show with BT.